As the world's superpowers look to potential future military conflicts, one of the areas that they want to advance in is in the skies. And so we have to look to the future of avionic technological progress. And so today we've got the US and China both making very futuristic, potentially scary additions to their aerial arsenal. So first, China, they have successfully flown a stealth drone for the first time ever. It's being called Sharp Sword, which is scary. And it comes in the wake of, over the past few years, the J-20 and J-31 stealth fighters. And so China, although their military is not as technologically advanced as the US is, they have a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, and now they have made that move into stealth drones, something that I don't even know for sure that we have in the US. Obviously, we make use of drones, but it looks like we've got some work to do to catch up to them. And so this is not the only drone that China has. It's just perhaps the most technologically advanced. They have small tactical drones with limited endurance, to some drones that look very similar to our Reapers and Predators, including ones that have weapons hardpoints where munitions could be stored. And so obviously in future conflicts, not necessarily between China and the US, but perhaps between China and Japan, China and Taiwan, those sorts of things, maybe one of the Koreas. These sorts of drones could come in handy for China, and so obviously it's very scary. Now, this is in the middle of a period of a couple of months where there has been increasingly hostile actions between China and Japan. China flying drones over areas that Japan has claimed, setting up an air defense zone over Japanese-controlled islands. This is not the sort of thing that we want to see. The last thing the U.S. wants is some sort of war between China and Japan. And obviously these stealth drones will not be operational by that point in terms of being able to be involved in a conflict, but still very scary stuff. So that's China. What does the US have? Well, we had very advanced F-22s, F-35s. We ruled the skies. And so what's the next step? Slap a freaking laser on its head, I guess. And so that's what the Air Force plans to do. We've got a report coming out of the Air Force Research Laboratory that says that they want, by 2030, to have 3 different types of laser weapon systems mounted on our next generation air fighters. Now, what's amazing is that the F-22, the F-35 already being replaced, concept vehicles being made, renderings and drawings of what could come after it, when apparently there's nothing that can challenge those jets, those fighters, but whatever, we're moving on to something new, and here are some of the things that they want to equip it with. There's going to be low-power lasers for illuminating, tracking, targeting, and denying/defeating enemy sensors. So some stealth capabilities by being able to take out the sensors proactively. They also want moderate-power laser protective weapon systems, presumably for detecting and shooting down incoming missiles. So sort of shields for the jet. And high-powered lasers for offensive operations against other aircraft or ground targets. So we're not just talking about taking out the sensors, and we're not just taking out incoming missiles. We're shooting down planes, we're blowing up tanks and possibly buildings as well. And when that happens, we're in Star Trek. We've made the leap. I mean, we have planes flying around with freaking lasers on them. Now, the timeline goes like this. By 2014, the Air Force wants operational lasers in laboratories. So we're talking about next year. They want, in the laboratory, fully functional lasers. By 2022, they want to be able to do simulations out in the real world. And as I said earlier, by 2030, they want us fielding these on our actual combat aircraft. Now, you've probably heard about other sorts of laser systems being used by the Navy. They want to be able to shoot down small boats and things like that to be able to stop terrorists from blowing up bombs next to our ships. This is a totally different system, a totally different plan of research by the Air Force. And look, I'm going to feel a little bit safer if we have these on our planes, feel a little bit less safe knowing that China has these stealth drones, but it's not going to surprise you to find out that in terms of the big superpowers at least, the conflicts of the future, a lot of that is going to take place in the air, and it looks like it is going to be a very high-tech front for the next battles.